Welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this Life is Better with a Friend Like You card. We are going to combine the prized Peony set and the dies that come with it and the Pretty Flowers embossing folder. So this is a carryover item, and the dies are called the Peony dies. And this is a new item in the new annual catalog. So you're going to need a Night of Navy card base, along with a 5 1/4 by 4 in the smoky slate, a strip of white to put the greeting on, and then enough scraps of white to do 2 small peonies and 1 large peony. So when I use the peony dies for those, I'll just put those off to the side now because we don't need them because I've used them. The greeting is cut out with a stitched rectangle die. And what I did is I cut out the greeting and then I went through again and cut it again to get it down to the size that I wanted. So let's get started by embossing the piece of smoky slate. So we're just going to pop it in the embossing folder. And this embossing folder is not one of the 3D ones. So we need to use our plates with it. So we'll put one cutting plate and then we'll sandwich it between the other cutting plate. And we will run it through the machine. And you always put the embossing folders through with their hinged edge towards the roller first, and that stops any walking, like if something goes a bit wonky, it stops the embossing folder from splitting. So there is our embossed piece, just like that. We can go ahead right now and adhere this to the card front. If you had ribbon that you wanted to put on, you could wrap some ribbon around it. I'm just going to go right ahead and attach this. Just going to center it in the front of the card base and drop it down. There we go, just like that. Now I am going to stamp the greeting using the Night of Navy. And I'm just going to grab a scrap of paper to stamp this on and make sure that I've got good coverage, and I do. So I'm just going to ink that up again, and I'm going to center it as best I can on the paper, just like that. That is perfect. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to close up my ink pad. And I am going to cut this out. I'm going to need a couple of, or just even one sticky note, just so that I make sure that the die doesn't move, especially when I'm doing the second cut. So I'm going to line this up at the bottom. And for this one, the reason I'm lining it up at the bottom and doing the bottom cut first is the top cut is actually going to be covered by the flowers. So the bottom cut is the one you want to get perfect. And if you mess up the top cut, it's not such a big deal because it's going to be covered up. But I'm just going to pop that down like that to hold it in place. And then I am going to sandwich it up and run it through the machine. And I have run it through the machine without my third plate because I was using it with an embossing folder. So we'll put plate number 2 in and we'll run it through, and it will actually cut out this time. So we will run that through, and then I'll show you how to line it up so that you can do the second cut. And like I say, with this one, it's not a huge deal if it doesn't go 100% right because it's going to be hidden. So And even really because it's going to be hidden, you don't even necessarily have to do the top cut on this one. You won't see it at all, but I am just going to do it so that you can see how it goes. So I line this up, I line it up with the edges, and then I'm just going to pop that down again, sandwich it up, and run it through. And there we go. All right. I'll take this apart and you can see we've actually got the stitched edge all the way around. So that works really, really well for adapting the dies because this is a larger die, but I only needed it to be a smaller one. So we are going to put Stamp and Seal on the back of this. Now, this card I did a bit lower down. I think I'm actually going to raise this up just a little bit, like that, just so everything's just a little bit higher on the card. Sometimes when you are planning things out and when you're working with things, it looks okay, but it's not great. And each time you do it, it improves just a little bit. So I'm just going to tuck this one on here. It's going to overlap the edge just a bit, but not the edge of the card, just the edge of the smoky slate that we have embossed. We'll put the one on the other side, and we're just going to roll that over the corner and slightly overlap the edge there as well. And then we will use dimensionals on the larger of the peony flowers and attach that, and we are good to go. So that's how you can put a card together, combining existing sets with some new product. We're just going to pop that right on there like that. So there you go. Life is better with a friend like you. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think of the video, and if there are any items you'd like to purchase, please use the links below. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.